Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and today we are talking Pioneer Arms AK-47 style rifle chambered in 5.56. So this guy, of course, being chambered in 5.56, a little bit different than you might expect from a 7.62x39 variant, means that it has a different value, especially in the United States. If you are looking to get into AKs and don't necessarily love that 7.62x39 chamber, well, guess what? You can get something like this. So with that being said, this video is gonna break down in a couple of different ways. First things first, we're gonna go tech specs, every tech spec I can find on the gun. Then we're gonna go tip to button, kind of explain anything that may have been missed in those tech specs. And we're gonna verify some of those tech specs with weight, trigger pull, and then measurements, so you know what you're gonna have to put in your safe. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the tech specs. This is specifically their Sporter rifle, which is your Wood AKM, of course 5.56 NATO, with an overall length of 36 inches and a barrel length of 16 inches. You do have a standard capacity magazine. It also features Pioneer Arms' new premium grade hand polished fire control group. On the end of the barrel, you do have a 14x1 left-hand thread pitch, in case you are wondering about that, and a different kind of style muzzle brake on here than you might expect on maybe most of your AKs. You also are going to get something, so a big criticism of a lot of 5.56 AKs around the market is that, well, the firing pins, people were worried about them shearing, breaking, malfunctioning. So what Pioneer Arms did, listening to the market in that fashion, they over-engineered it. They hardened the tip of that firing pin, so that way that is not a concern. So if you're looking at a 5.56 AK, you had some firing pin concerns, those have been rectified in this particular model. Okay, so now let's move on to the tip to butt portion. As I had mentioned, you do have a muzzle brake up here, and that will help, of course, with a little bit of recoil mitigation. You do have an adjustable front sight post, kind of traditional AK, which you would expect. And as you head on back to your gas block portion, you are also going to get that Polish laminated wood. This does feel very comfortable in the hand. Of course, you can tell I'm an AR guy, I C-clamp. However, it does feel very nice in your hand, not to mention that laminated wood on the back. Now they do give you, to differentiate kind of from the, at least what I have noticed, they differentiate your standard AKs, so your 7.62x39 ones, they have a red or a kind of more wood style grip. This has a black one, and that will help you say, hey, this is 5.56 versus something more traditional. Now as we head on back from that handguard, you do see we have a clip-on kind of style sling mount, and then around the back you do have an adjustable rear sight, that which you would expect with any AK. As we head on back, you do have some standard AK features in here, like how the operating system works, but you're gonna get some improvements, like the enhanced manipulation shelf right here. That makes it especially easier if you're coming from like maybe an M4 style or any sort of AR-15 style rifle, to where if you use your pointer finger, whereas some AK people, correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen them do it a lot, use their middle finger to adjust up and down the end of the safety, because that's really, your pointer finger may not reach, but your middle finger's a little bit longer. Interesting notes. As we flip it onto the other side, you can see that you do have an optic rail mount. So if you wanted to put something like a red dot on there or some sort of scope, you absolutely have that option. The magazine itself is, again, that standard capacity as you'd expect, and is a little bit less of a curve to it than you would expect your standard AK mag. Give me 1 second, I'll show you what I mean. Here, you have your standard 7.62x39 mag, and then you have your 5.56 mag. So it does give you a little bit of a different look if that's something you're into. Just thought it was worth noting. Now, one thing I did want to note is from a standard AK perspective, it is very smooth to get the mag in and out. There are some more budget-oriented AKs that are difficult to get the mag in and out. This one, you can easily just flick in and out at will without much effort needed, which is always nice. In true Pioneer fashion, they do still give you that extended mag release as well. That'll really make those flick and then reloads a little bit easier. That trigger, so to give you an example, you do pull back just a little bit, so there is a decent amount of take up. There you go, and you can feel that wall, and then bang. As far as an AK trigger goes, it is pretty smooth. There's not as much grit as I was expecting. And then as you pull out on it, a little bit of movement. There you go, and then bang again. That, I don't know if you can hear it, That is very smooth. It with some AK triggers that I have experienced in the past, there is a little bit of grittiness to it to get back to where you need to go. But that trigger is nice. It's a clean break and a clean reset. Moving on. Back to that wood stock, you do have a standard sling mount on the back of it. So if you wanted to put a traditional sling on there, you absolutely have that option. So now time for the measurements portion of this video. So first things first, I'm gonna grab the scale, throw it up on the table, and we're gonna see exactly how much it weighs with and without the mag. I'll be right back. Scales on the table. Let's go ahead and see. I have not done this yet, so you're gonna see it before me. Let's see, we are 7.18 pounds. With the mag, 7.55 pounds. So that's what you can expect with and without the mag of the Pioneer Arms AK. Let's go ahead and move on to the trigger pull portion of this and get a trigger pull reading. All right, trigger pull gauge in hand. Let's go ahead and see exactly what we're looking at. Nice thing is I can keep the mag in here because AK. All right, so I'm going to take it, push it down, and it brace against my shoulder. Looks a little awkward, but trying to get the best reading I can. 3, 2. That's at 3.36 pounds. I did not expect that. I gotta charge it like an AK guy. Learned that from a few AK guys recently. Let's go ahead and try this one more time. 3, 2. 3.96 pounds. That is a pretty light trigger, not gonna lie. That is nice to be on a 5.56 rifle because it's gonna be less recoil overall, and you can follow up shots pretty quickly with a nice soft trigger. I gotta love that. Finally, let's go ahead and move on to the measuring tape portion of this and give you exact measurements on what you're gonna expect to put in your safer case. All right, I got the measuring tape. So with that being said, I'm just gonna kind of pop it out, leave it there, hold her up, and get the baseline measurement right here. Now let's flip it the other way so you guys can see it. We are looking at that's nearly 36 inches. It's like 35 3/4. Like it is really close to 36 inches. So we're just gonna call that 36. So if you got 36 inches of space in your safe or your case, you're gonna be pretty much good to go. Now we'll do height with the mag real quick. You are looking at, with the sight, about 10.5 to 10.75, 10 3/4 inches. So that is, if you keep the mag in it, you're gonna have to have over 10 inches of space that way. And then without the mag, from the grip up, you are looking at, on that iron sight, you're probably looking at right around that 7.25 inch tall. So that's exactly what you're gonna need if you decide to put it in a case or a safe, which everybody should. This has been the Pioneer Arms Sporter AK-N 5.56. So if you have any experiences with this particular gun, please leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. Now that is all I have for you guys today. God bless, stay safe. It is time to end. Now I'm gonna go see if this thing shoots as flat as I think it will.